Okay, Company Men is about a company called GTX, which is a shipping manufacturing and transportation company. And it takes place during the 2008 when lots of companies were doing massive amounts of layoffs. So you kind of get to follow three different characters. Ben Affleck's character, Tommy Lee Jones' character, and I see this actor all the time and I always forget his name, but he plays the role of Phil Hardwood, or Woodward. So you get three people in three different positions in the same company. As they're constantly getting, am I getting laid off? Did I survive this round of layoffs? Will I survive the next round of layoffs? What is it that I have to do to try to make ends meet? And of course, pretty much slowly they run into more people who have lost their jobs or trying to make ends meet. Now, my biggest problem was they're primarily upper middle class. One of them talks about, well, my last salary was $120,000 a year plus bonuses and perks. And it was like, yeah, that's a huge hunk of change. You drive a Porsche. You mentioned you could sell your home for probably $850,000. Yeah, I really can't feel for you all that much. But then as I go through more of the regular everyday struggles, you do kind of get more of a little bit here, a little bit there, and you kind of feel kind of bad for him. And of course, Ben Affleck's, brother-in-law, who is Kevin Costner, is constantly ripping out, because Kevin Costner is a carpenter. He's like, how many jobs you send away this time? Kevin has a kind of bad Boston accent. But ironically, the way that him and Ben Affleck work, I'd almost pay to see them in a movie. They have a really good chemistry and nice rapport. Since Ben Affleck is going through the process of, he's lost his job, he's trying to keep up the same image and the same lifestyle, thinking that that's going to help him land the next job. While his wife is going through the whole, we can't afford to do this anymore because you're not making any money. And that's how's he going to deal with that? So it's how all people are trying to deal with, all of a sudden just losing their main source of income. There's a moment towards the end where Tommy Lee Jones and Ben Affleck are talking, and it's this really bizarre sort of, there was a time when we made stuff. They're walking through one of the old shipyards, like, we had ships here. At the end of the day, you made something physically, you made something tangible. And then we went to the point where we didn't make anything physical anymore. It was just sheets and it was just numbers. And it was all making money off of essentially things that you can't even see. Making money off the invisible. And using money to make more money while occasionally going, to make the balance sheets better, we'll just, fire 8,000 people. And when they show this, large barren area, maybe think about the town that I live in where you have large dormant factories. And places where people don't have jobs. You keep on thinking, if someone actually were to show up and were probably use some of that factory space, you could probably get jobs. And from the very beginning, I told my wife, I was like, this is 2008. You could pick 2010. You would have needed to change the footage of, President Bush walking out instead it would have been Obama walking out. But it's still kind of exact same sort of scenario. And it's a Weinstein movie, so it's done beautifully well, but great drama and all. But this is such a depressing movie about people who are upper middle class who don't have jobs. And at the very end, somebody who actually makes all this money decides, you got the two options when you've got oodles and oodles of money. One, you just retire and that's it. Or two, you actually try to go back to what you initially did, where you actually try to, create jobs for people. You try to create, a lifestyle. You try to make sure that the people that you work with, they get an honest day's pay. They're able to buy homes and pay for cars and send their kids to college. So the story throughout it is actually really kind of sad and depressing until really towards the last maybe couple of minutes of it, when things seem like they kind of begin to turn around. Primarily because somebody who has the money to do something decided to, as opposed to just making money for themselves or for their close circle of friends, decide to actually use it to restart a company and to try to almost kind of re-kickstart the American economy. So from that standpoint, really good, but man, don't expect to hear any sort of fun and uplifting moments. This is drama that is hard and it is heavy.